guys, this is Charlie from Charlie's Awesome World of Adventures. Last time we took a look at the 1982 film Tron, which I thought was decent but noticeably dated. Well, about 8 years later, they decided to upgrade that film and with the first of the two sequels, Tron Legacy. But I don't really know too much, but what I do know is that despite it being in a flop upon its initial release, it has gained a bit of a cult following by fans. And after watching it for myself, yeah, I can understand why. In fact, I say that this film is an improvement over its predecessor by quite a bit. I will admit that the first 20 minutes did drag on though. Oh, they weren't bad, of course, but I do think it did take a while to get into the actual film. While I was enjoying, while I wasn't disliking it, I think it was quite slow and did take me out the feature. Safe to say that the film didn't have the best first impression, but once Sam enters the grid, that's why the film changes for the better. One thing that does improve is the overall story. Like the first film, the story isn't the film's strongest aspect, but it is quite interesting. We learn, and that Flynn had a kid called Sam, and ended up being trapped in the grid. And after so many years, Sam finds a way into the grid. And now, out the two of them have to deal with it. If you revolt, a guy that Sam Stack created called Cube. And Cube is honestly a pretty interesting villain. Look, I always like it when they decide to make the villain be a creation made by the hero, bro, because that leaves the door open to some interesting character dynamics. And when the film doesn't play with them as much as I think they do, when they do near the end, I do think it got quite interesting and a bit emotional. The relationship between the two, Flynn, to make the film for me, is that it's not that it has been a lot of time after this father and son have seen each other. And while the two of them do have their differences and can have their own arguments, part of the film is to be equally invested with the father and son bonding thing, and the film does do a good job of making us care for both of them. I also really like this new AI called Cora. Honestly, I was expecting for her to end up being a love interest to Sam. And I'll say that the film hints it, but it never goes further than that, which I think is a good idea. Leave the door open for further sequels. Called them further adventures. I'll also say right now that the actors do a fantastic job. All their performances are quite engaging. And they do a good job of making the film enjoyable and entertaining. But let's get into the visuals, and this is easily the film's biggest improvement over the original. No, I did say that I didn't mind the data looks of the visuals of the first film, but man, am I appreciative for all the upgrade they gave in the sequel. Legacy has so many great visual effects. The moment you enter the grid, if you notice, it's a lot more high tech than usual. Or or the last time we saw it, which is quite engaging. I also really like how the film plays with lighting. Of course, the main lights they usually use are blue, use whites and oranges. But they do a great job of making the costumes stand that don't and making all the different things in the environment, especially the light cycle. Icons, like the stand and the parts of the feature. And let me just say right now that the action makes this film for me. There were some good action bits in the first film, but I was really mesmerized by all the big action set pieces in this film. Most of them were highly engaging, and did get me fully invested still with what was going on. And it does lead the film to have a thrilling climax, which I will say that the ending was both pretty exciting and kind of emotional. Knowing that the two Flints have to separate because it's what's best. Which I will admit, it get me a little teary-eyed. Also, one thing I love about the visuals is that this is one of those films that like enhances the screen even for certain action scenes. I always love when films do this. Usually it's safe for the IMAX releases, but this is one and those exceptions, and I'm glad about it because it makes the film a lot more exciting and interesting and engaging. More action films should do that. It'll do a great job of getting me invested. That's a heads up from any future blockbuster directors out there. So overall, while I want to say Tron on Legacy is a perfect movie, I will say that it is a great film. The story really is still not the best, and the film did take a while to get going, but it does have some great action scenes, incredible visuals, top-notch acting, improved characters, and may I add a wonderful original score, or leading to a sequel where I can see why it has a fan following. If you like the first Tron, then you're most likely going to have a great time on this one. And even if you didn't care too much about the first Tron, give this one a try because you might be surprised. What you might see. I'm personally glad I watched both of these films. And I'm definitely glad that the second one managed to be much better than the first, which is why I'm giving this film an 8 out of 10. And now I've done those two films, I am officially prepared for the third film coming out on Friday, Aries. The first reactions just came out today, and they do seem to be a bit mixed, but the trailers have done a good job to get me hyped for this film, so I'll most likely have a good time with it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you next time.